Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to notably not Persona 5. I decided to kind of switch it up for a little bit because we're only going to play for maybe about another half an hour, 45 minutes or so. And I figured that a good way to round out the night would be just to have some fun in a brand new game that I found called Dead Cells, excuse me. Oh, I keep calling it Dark Cells because, well, you'll see it draws some certain influences that may resemble certain From Software series. But anyway, so Dead Cells is a game that's currently in early access, and I tend to stay away from early access games for the most part, but this one is actually fairly complete, all things considered, and that's kind of nice. This game is a pixel-style action platformer, Metroidvania, roguelite game. I think that pretty much covers everything. And, well, what better way for me to kind of explain what the game is than just to show you the game in action by starting a brand new game. I know I don't mind losing some progress. I haven't really made a whole lot. So, damn. There's a beginning that it's not showing me right now. And it's really upsetting me. Whatever. Anyway, so basically, you're kind of thrown in without a whole lot of context other than there's a mold that just came out of that tube there, and the mold took over this body that was headless. And now the body lives again. Also, what the hell is this thing? I really want to know what this thing is. It's a giant that's been slain with an arrow in its belly. But what is it and how did it die? Anyway. And so the game begins by teaching you some of the basic movement mechanics. There's double jumps, there's doors that you're going to be able to open, and you can open them by either opening them up or by slicing them down. You have a basic weapon that lets you do straight attacks. And there will be people. Lost our head now, did we? Who, me? Yes, I definitely did. Sorry about that. Nothing to say for yourself? I'm sorry, I can't really talk. I have no head, unfortunately. I suppose you didn't think to find yourself back here. Again. But surely you must have noticed. You can no longer die. I still don't understand. It was like this with the others for a while. The others? The others. What others? You can do better than this. 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 Damn. Apparently we can do better than this. And so you have secondary weapons that you can pick up along the way, including a bow and arrow, which does massive damage, and a shield, which is not actually like a blocking shield. You can't just hold down the button. It's a parrying shield. And you use it on specifically timed attacks like so to actually block and sometimes reflect and deal damage back. Personally, I prefer the bow because you can do stuff like this. You can actually fire the bow from a crouch position and get back some advantage on these noticeably ranged enemies. Oh, fuck yourself. But this is where the actual game begins. And you go through defeating enemies and collecting these cells, these dead cells. And these dead cells are what you actually use to upgrade yourself on a permanent type basis. Because as you probably figured out, you're gonna die. A lot. Like a lot. Kind of, sorta, Juno, but it doesn't really quite play like a Dark Souls game. It plays very much like, I don't know if you've ever seen Rogue Legacy. But that's what it feels very much like to me. The controls are so super tight and everything, and it has these stat boosts that you can get every so often to raise your attack damage and also your health and also your special attacks that I'll get here in a little bit. But you're basically able to go around and explore a giant map that has all different kinds of goodies spread all over it. And as you gain different abilities from defeating bosses that you find around, you'll be able to explore more different areas. You saw there was a bit of mold on the ground back in the other place that I just was. And that mold, I'm actually going to be able to interact with at a certain point once I defeat one of the bosses and gain the ability to do so. And so you actually have just a couple of base starter weapons that you find, such as this Frost Blast here, which I can use to substitute one of my regular weapons here, say this one. But you can also find blueprints that help you get new and better weapons. Personally, I don't really care for the Frost Blast. It does a nice little area of frost in front of you. I don't remember where that bow is because I'm going to come back to it in a second. That freezes enemies and then you can get some nice hits off behind them. But personally, if I'm going to freeze something, I would rather have some damage with it too, like this ice grenade that I just got. So I'm going to swap out the bow. Take this guy out. You notice that there is actually a down attack, and if you hit somebody from behind with it, you can get off a nice free stun. Hit. Beautiful. I still haven't figured out what this guy does. He's going to be something that I'm able to interact with later on. It says that I'm rubbing it. But I did find a secret. Some malachite. Probably fake, but you should be able to trick a poor soul into buying it for 250. Wall gold. There's also wall, well, not wall chickens, wall carrots around somewhere. And as you kind of get up near the wall, you can see that a rune will glow on the wall, and that kind of denotes, hey, there's a secret there. Speaking of the carrot, beautiful. So I'm imagining that rubbing on this is actually some kind of teleporter, because you'll notice there's a corresponding one right here, and also an item that I could get. This flashbang, I'm assuming, okay, it's a flashbang 1, so it's not really all that great. But flashbangs are still fairly useful, because as you'd imagine, they stun enemies and make them unable to attack you for a little bit. And that shield right there is actually a greedy shield, which gets me money from enemies, but it costs money in order to get it. And unfortunately, it's not good enough to trade. So here's the problem with shields. You gotta be on the ball with the timing of that shit, or else. Anyway, hello, sir. This is our gentle shopkeep, and everything he has is for sale. We can get various items from him. Usually some kind of weapons are here too, but these are all amulets. These are randomly generated, of course. You get gold when you get a dead cell from an enemy. That's kind of nice. Damage reduced by 10%. Poison no longer affects you. Whoa, poison no longer affects you. That's kind of nice. Although we're not really going to be going to the poisoning part yet, that's still a super nice item to have. And if only I had 400 more gold, I would be able to reduce damage taken by 30%. Significantly more than the 10 right here. So the question becomes, do I just go on for right now and remember where their shop is? Because there are teleporters around that would make it very easy to get back over to this shop. Those are the big giant circles that I've been activating, like that one there. Thank you for the convenient timing game. Got it. And oh boy, this shield boy is probably my least favorite enemy that I've found so far, because he does a real quick attack that stuns, and you usually need to try and get behind him somehow. But if you try and roll behind him, chances are he's gonna just dash right past you and be a bitch about it. And there are also some twin daggers right there. Twin daggers are a very fun weapon too, but I need to get this amulet. The one that I'm wearing right now, this prisoner's collar, does absolutely nothing. Now I have 30% damage reduction. Yes, please. And me with my beautiful 141 health, I feel a whole lot better about my current situation. Wouldn't you agree? Okay. Ooh, big giant chest. What do we have here? Oh, baby. We just found ourselves an electric whip. And I'm gonna swap it out with my rusty sword. Now this electric whip is also augmented to deal plus 10 damage. And it's fucking sick, you guys. This electric whip is probably one of my favorite weapons in the game. Because not only does it do good damage, but it's also got great range on it. Ow. So there's actually a button that I'm gonna find somewhere to be able to open that door. Oh, and yes, Dari, the description on it does say join the dark side. Oh, and there would be the door for me to, the button for me to press. Beauty. Well, what happens when you die is what you would expect, basically. You restart, and you lose all of your gold until you start getting benefits that let you keep some of your gold. But, you actually have to make it to what you would call the end of a stage to be able to upgrade yourself, like this right here, the Promenade of the Condemned. So I was able to make my way through most of this stage. We didn't really go beyond this lower area here. But the Promenade of the Condemned is actually one of the first areas for me to go in, so this is a good place to be. This will give us a chance to go ahead and cash in some of the dead cells that we've gotten, and we would spend a little bit of money if I had more money to spend. But I'm down to 800 some odd dollars, and well, you can't. But this gentleman right here, you are dead. Interesting. I am the collector, and I am about the closest thing to company you will get done. We can exchange the cells we pillage from foes, and he can provide us with useful items. And we give him the blueprints to unlock brand new weapons inside the dungeon. And so this is where the actual permanent progression comes in. The first thing we need to unlock before we can unlock anything else is our first health potion. You can now own a health flask that you can use at any time. Beauty. And we can go ahead and unlock Gold Recovery 1, which means that we conserve 25% of all gold whenever we die. And that actually unlocks a couple of other skills here. The random starting bow is a general improvement that means that that first bow will no longer just be a starting bow. It'll actually be a random bow from all the bows that we've unlocked so far. Kind of a good one to have. But I actually want to insert the blood sword into the arena because this blood sword stacks bleeding on an enemy, and bleeding is super OP right now. I'm gonna take advantage of it while I can before they nerf it super hard, which I think they're going to soon, and that makes me really sad. But anyway, so now we've spent all of our souls, and because we unlocked a brand new weapon, he gave us a brand new weapon. And I'm actually going to take the electric whip and the sword and drop my bow for now, which may be something that kills me. But you know what? Whatever, it's fine. I feel like my electric bow is all the range that I really need. Okay, so now that we made it to the Promenade of the Condemned, we actually can't go back to that first area. It is not Dark Soulsian in that way. Interesting. Whole lot of earthquakey there. But I do know that there's a secret up here. Hello, blueprint. Well, see, the reason why bleeding is OP is because you can actually stack a ton of stacks on enemies, roll away, and then have them die horribly without you even needing to be present. Especially, there's actually some throwing kunais that you can get later that do super bleed damage. And you can throw them at range. Ooh. Hello, Twin Daggers level 3. So Twin Daggers innately inflict a critical blow whenever you do a 3-hit combo. Ba, ba, ba. Big hit. And these are naturally damage plus 20, and also whenever we use them, they fire an arrow in front of us. That's kind of nice. But interestingly enough, the Blood Sword level 2 makes enemies explode on death, and the Electric Whip that we have deals 30% more damage to a bleeding target. So I feel like right now we're pretty good on weaponry. Like, that's a great weapon, and I'm gonna remember that for if we actually need it sometime this run, because I can just teleport right back here, which is awesome. Like, this game is super merciful when it comes to letting you get back to places that you've already been. Ow. There we go. That's some death dealing. Now we're cooking with gas. so now you can kind of understand how this game works. We're picking up, if I was using a ranged attack, you actually have ammunition on most ranged weapons. And that ammunition is dependent on killing enemies. When you kill an enemy, you get more ammo. Or you get your ammo back, I should say. Ooh, nice little Mokugen. Now this Mokugen is really annoying because he actually gives a force shield to every enemy around him. So it's best to go ahead and kill him as quick as possible. These assholes are no monkeying around. They sit there and warp to you and attack with a huge amount of damage if you're not able to roll out of the way faster. You know, Dan, I love games like this. Games like this are my bread and fucking butter, dude. So yeah, like I really do enjoy this game. And I will say this, if you are thinking about picking it up, it's on not sale, not discount, it's on early access price. So and the controls are super tight. Like, it's actually a pretty complete game right now. Now, I think it's only about halfway done. Like, as far as the amount of story that you have access to right now, I think it's something like 20 hours and they want to shoot for 40. You can actually pay for this door and get another stat upgrade legit. And by the end, they want to add another 20 hours onto it and actually finish the rest of the game. So it is still very much an early access, and they patch it pretty regularly from what I've seen too. A lot of feedback's being taken into account, and I mean, so far so fucking good. There's actually supposed to be a big update fairly soon that adds a whole bunch more weapons and a few more bosses and enemies into the game as well. And so I'm kind of looking forward to that. This may be something that I play a lot, just kind of on my own for fun, you know? So this is a timed door, and the door was actually sealed about 8 minutes ago. The trick to this door is it actually starts counting down from the timer that's in the far right bottom corner there of the screen, right above the mini-map. There's actually a timer there, and that door is dependent on that timer. So when the time runs out, that door seals, and you will never be able to get down to where that is. Period. Have fun. But if you can get down there, it actually leads to a way further on area. So if this branches off from the main point, and there are like 2 other branches that you can access without going through that timed door is an extra path, an extra set of levels, basically. And I believe that I'm not actually supposed to go down any of those areas in order to get to the boss of this particular level. He should be here somewhere. Oh boy, that's bad. I need to destroy the Mercury. There we go. Awesome. Now we're cooking with gas and freeze. I forgot that I had that freeze grenade for a second there, and that turned out to be super duper handy. So, can you ever access that content from the other side? What do you mean? I don't think that there's a way to, like, get back around to it from where it goes. No. Aha! Here we go. Boss time. So, this is actually that fungus among us that I was talking about. You can tickle the fungus, and not only does it make a really gross noise, but it's actually going to eventually sprout a vine that we can climb up and progress on to the next area. But first, you see that banner? That banner means bad things are waiting for us around the corner, babe. But we've got a decent amount of health, we've got some good damage reduction, and a health potion. So we faced our first elite monster, an elite archer. He fires 2 arrows at the same time at a very quick pace. And unfortunately, he doesn't take a whole bunch of bleeding damage. Oh boy. And just got a whole lot stronger. Awesome. Well, I mean, the thing of it is, Dan, like, once you reset, like once you die, the timer resets. So all you've got to do is run straight from the start through the first level to the promenade, and it pauses while you're in the shop. Then you run straight from there all the way basically to the end of this particular stage, which is hard because, well, the stages randomly generate, so you never really know where that timed door is until you pass it. And, you know, it's just kind of an expert stage. Like, you're not supposed to be able to get that until you have the items and starting items necessary to be able to skip the first ton of enemies. Because that's what you're gonna do. Like, you're gonna run straight past all the enemies and experience that you would need to be able to raise up your levels and stuff in order to get to that door quickly. But you can do it. I've done it. It's not that difficult. I don't disagree with you, but it is possible. It is very much doable. Yes, I'm sorry, Dan. I didn't mean to make it sound that way. But yes, it is game timed, not lifetime. Well, I guess technically one game equals one life. So, but you know, whatever. You know exactly what the hell I mean. Beautiful. Oh, there's a rune there. Don't mind if I do. I love how the blood sword swings, how it's a double strike up, and it kind of wafts you forward too, so you can actually sword walk a little bit if you're careful. So now going up the promenade left us here. Nope, nothing. And so you see how we can't jump up here. That means that we have officially reached the end of this portion of the stage. And we can come and see if there's any special treats. A teleportation stone that we can't use yet. I'm assuming that I have to beat another elite in order to get that skill. And then we will be able to open up this door and see what lies beyond it. But as it stands, we just have to take the elevator up. Whee! To the ramparts. Or we can jump out. Like, we can always just jump out. But we are way high up now, and that would hurt like a bitch. So instead, we'll go to the ramparts. Now, we don't have to go to the ramparts. Back in the first stage, you'll remember there were actually a couple of moss tickle spots that I could use to reach other areas. And so, do you remember those sewers that we could find the poison-resistant amulet for? I can now die, go back to the first stage, find that tickle spot again, and get into those sewers. So, and not only that, but here inside the promenade that I was just in, there's a tickle point, if you remember, to get up to here. So like, all of the different branches have these expanded areas once you start getting more powers that you can start to explore. Anyway, we'll throw up the new blueprint for the Assassin's Dagger, which inflicts a critical blow when you backstab your enemies. Not too shabby. But it's not as good as my blood sword, which I can totally level up and give a just base 5% damage boost to any time I have a blood sword. Like right now. And I would level up the ice grenade, but I'm gonna hold off on that for a bit. Instead, I'm gonna throw the 9 into the throwing knife and get that bitch up, 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 up. Yes, Dan. The runes, the powers that let you interact with the environment, the same one that'll let me do the teleportation with the Thunderstone, stay with you. What are the other tabs? Oh, you mean the other tabs that this guy has. So, this tab that I'm on is all upgrades. And then we have item upgrades, weapon upgrades, and power upgrades. And they kind of separate them out here in the tabs. Yep, Dari nailed it. Dari fucking nailed it. And also in between stages, you have the ability to use this guy, which fills up your flask if you used it in the last stage, and also heals you all the way up. So you start each stage basically fresh. And up we go. What's funny is there's actually a timed door in this stage too that I found earlier. And so in order to get to it, you actually have to run through the previous stage up to the tickle point, run through the tickle point to the elevator, get to the third stage, and make it here. To the ramparts, which is actually one of my favorite stages because it's so pretty. I love the coloring and the shading in this game. And the enemy design is really cool too. So you'll notice that these green zombos usually have some sort of jumping attack that they can cover large distances with, and it hurts, dude. When they hit you with that, it hurts. So generally speaking, you want to avoid it by just dodging straight through them. And then you have the red skeletons that throw the big explodey ball, and then you have the white skeletons which do that leaping monkey-esque attack. Well, teleporting and then like monkey swing. Oh boy! The only reason why I call it a monkey swing is because it's like a full shoulder, like from the fucking body, kind of thing, and that's why it hurts so bad. Anyway, you actually can fall down in between the ramparts. No, it doesn't kill you. It actually just deducts a little bit of health, but it's kind of nice. And yes, absolutely, Dan. Very good observation. You actually can stun enemies by blasting that door if they're standing close enough. I wish somebody was standing close to that so that I could have done it at the time, but yes, that is the thing. I forget. Oh, right. Shoot that lightning. Shoot that lightning, son. Can't be letting that happen. Oh, boy. Bleed thyself. Excellent. Oh, shit, that hurts. I just ran right into his arrow. I love the electric whip. The electric whip is my favorite weapon in this game. Like, for real. Ooh. Hello, giant chest. Electric whip level 4. Enemies explode upon death and fires an arrow in front of you that does 93 damage. And also damage plus 30 now. No, you better believe it, Dan. I'm always glad to touch a chest. And now we can teleport back up to the top. The teleporters are actually pretty spread out everywhere, because otherwise this game would be brutal to navigate. And let's go over here. Hello, stat upgrade. What shall we upgrade now? My special skills do kind of need an upgrading because my health is already at level 3, as is my attack. But we can actually raise the power and cooldown. Raise and lower the power and cooldown of our special attacks by leveling them up, like that. So now you notice it does a lot more damage, like a lot more damage, my electric whip does. But we lost that ability to deal more damage to bleeding enemies, which, you know, we didn't really need, because once the enemies were bleeding with this blood sword, I kind of just swing away at them until they die. The bleeds only make me have to do less swings. Timed door. Sealed 14 minutes ago. So that means you need to make it to this spot by 6 minutes. That's insane. And so your starting equipment would have to be so good that you could just skip over everything. And yes, Dan, I have heard of Sexy Brutale. Sexy Brutale is a game that's like, if you mix Clue with The Sands of Time, or Majora's Mask, where you're able to kind of go back and restart each day. But the objective is you're trying to figure out what happened in this house where somebody was murdered. And you're able to do that by following the days of all the people inside of the house. And it's very cool art style. And Everybody's got a mask on that looks really cool, and it looks like a kind of a sexy party. It's a neat little thing. Okay, all weapon damage is now raised. And you'll notice the electric whip actually has the bonus feature of being able to kind of angle its shots to wherever we need to go. So if I'm floating down, guess what? He's getting electric whip. So much death. I love it. Oh god, that hurt. Take my freeze grenade. Actually, that worked really well. And now I've got a bear trap. And the bear trap is actually really handy against these guys because once they charge into it, they get stuck. They get stuck, son. Where you going? Nowhere. Ow. Motherfucker. Get stuck. And it makes it actually a lot easier to jump over them and hit them from behind. Bow. Ow. And I just raised my skill power a little bit. Take that. Lower the cooldown. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Give me your dead cell. This door needs a button to open. Where shall I find the button? Where shall I find the button? Oh, there's the button. Found it. And that mega slow grenade. Oh, you gotta love that shit. Damn. I was hoping I could like fling the bear trap up a little bit. It just kind of fell impotently down to the ground, didn't it? Get stuck. And I feel like the bear trap actually has the ability to poison the victim too. It immobilizes the target, increases the damage done to it by 35%, and poisons the victim as long as it's being held. Kind of nice. And now this door is open because we pressed the bouton. Beautiful. You'll notice that even though his shield keeps him from being frozen all the way, he still does get slowed down a little bit. Like, not enough to really matter, but a little bit. Crap. And hey, sometimes every little bit counts. Hey! Throwing knife level 3. So the throwing knife is actually the ranged weapon that causes bleeding, and I'm gonna replace my blood sword with it because damage plus 25%. And also it gives me a +1 to my skills. That ain't nothing to shake a stick at. But you see, it's actually even better at applying bleeds because you can stack it way faster and from actual safe distance. Yeah, they really need to nerf that because it's awful in my favor, like awful in my favor. You know, I feel like my ice grenades is pretty good right now. Well, ice grenade 1 versus ice grenade 3. 105 damage is not enough for me to really be all wowed by it. Also, I basically only have 2,000 right now, so we're good. Anywhere for me to teleport? All the way back up to the top, which I feel like would be kind of a waste. Well, no, because it's the only place we've got. We kind of came all the way to the bottom here. All right. Yep. There we go. That's hitting that shield from behind with a little bit of ice damage. Get trapped. Give me that free gold. Ow. Oh! I are defeated! Oh my god, I didn't realize that I was even low on health, or did he just hit me that hard? Holy shit. But that's what happens when you die. You end up coming back into a body that's face down, ass up, and back already. Well, it didn't seem to be going all that well for you, my friend. Have you noticed that everything seems a little different each time? One could think this island is alive. I wonder if... What do you make of all this? I make that I get 25% of my gold back, and we can come straight back here and find out which weapon we're gonna go with again. And basically the game starts over. If you didn't spend a whole lot of money last time, then you can do stuff like grabbing the door here, or just to kind of show you one of the other mechanics, you can destroy it and outrage the gods. Take one hit, one little hit, and you're a dead man. But if you can outwit the gods by defeating the number of enemies over your head, which does go up if the item that you're stealing is more expensive, you can get to keep your life and continue on the merry, which is kind of great. Because especially early on, it's super easy to kill these enemies, so you usually want to take that reward. Unless you're me and find yourself getting into situations that are way over your head unnecessarily and dying horrible deaths for no reason. Almost got that. Yes, I'll take the electric whip. The curse has been lifted. Excellent. So now we no longer die at getting hit once. And I got to keep that item. Or that stat boost. And so that's kind of how the game would progress. And so if I had been able to make it to the end of that area, I would have been able to find another boss, but how I would have been strong enough to complete it. I probably do have to come back to this first area and find the mossy point again and head down into the sewers. Woo! Hello, Shoppy Shop. Collect cells and gold without needing to be in range. That's kind of handy. Flashbang level 2 fires a volley of arrows. Sturdy shield, which makes enemies explode upon death. It blocks attack and stuns the attacker. And then there's grenade level 2, which deals a bunch of damage and more damage to a poisoned target. Curious. One thing I love about the electric whip, it makes finding secrets super easy because of the homing nature of the electric whip itself. Like, because the homing nature, because the whip homes in on enemies, it also homes in on secret blocks, which are considered enemies as far as the game is concerned. Yes, please. And so now I got the twin daggers, which also fire an arrow in front of me like the whip did before. But it's a good chance for me to go whap, whap, bam! That big 318 damage though. Now I will say this, it does become a little bit more difficult to actually do a 3-hit combo to an enemy like the shield guy when you can't even hit him. But you know what? If you believe, you can find a way. Ooh, that's a blood sword right there. But what kind of blood sword? Blood sword level 2. Here's the trick. You can actually use the map to tell you at least the level of the weapon that you're gonna be stealing from the gods. If you're gonna piss them off, you might as well make sure that it's worth it, right? Okay, let me go back up here because I feel like if we continue further on, the sewers are actually over. Oh boy, look out. Ah. Secret. Secret green shield. Blocks attacks and shakes any loose gold from your enemy's teeth once per enemy. It actually does make a gold tooth come out of an enemy that it hits. I'm gonna show it to you because it's really funny. No, I don't want to kill him. I want to kill him. There we go. And boom. Nailed it. Gold tooth, worth 20 gold. He had it coming. He only had himself to blame. If you'd have seen it. Block it. Back to him. And blocked. Give me that gold. So not only does it block and stun and reflect shit like that, but you get the picture. And that would probably take me to a next area, but I don't have the static charge to be able to use it. But I do have the mold powers, the powers of the viney growth. And what lies beyond? The toxic sewers. Beautiful. No, Dan, this is probably gonna be it, so why? Okay, now I can dump the 15 souls that I have so far into, cells that I have so far into raising the inherent damage of the electric whip, just up to 5%. 5% bonus, straight off the top. And I think I'm actually going to dip some into this random starter bow trait because, well, I do like my bows. But I wish it had a random starting sword trait, too. That would be nice. You know, Dari, there's a lot of mechanics in here that are super fun. There are some that are a little bit less than convenient. Oh my god, look at how much damage I just fucking did. I am now at half health because of one attack from one of these jars. Oh! Wow. We healed myself, but not as much as I would like, because I got hit there pretty bad. I'm actually very underpowered for this right now. But I have a ton of gold that I can spend as soon as I'm able. Come get some. Go. Give me that gold. Ooh! Horizontal turret. This horizontal turret is actually one of my favorite side weapons. It actually just straight up deploys a turret, engineer style, and that fires arrows endlessly until it gets destroyed. So, what is down here? Nothing? Nothing at all. Unfortunately, Dari, I only have one healing potion right now, and I just used it a little bit ago. So I'm kind of boned if I need to heal again. Aha! But I got a carrot instead, and carrots actually, like, heal proportionately. So when you have more health like I have now, it actually heals for more. I forgot that the little leech creature drops explosive eggs that hurt so bad. Like, for real, they hurt so bad. Oh, God. There we go. Locked it. Give me that tooth. Give me that tooth. Ooh. +1, 2 damage. That's going to make it a little bit easier with my level 1 electric whip. Of course they would explode, Dan. What else would they do? Heal me? It's not that kind of game, bub. Whew. But I did find a secret. It's like, just how many licks does it take to get to the center of that Tootsie Pop? 6. As it turns out, 6 is the answer. Really? Oh, you bag of dicks. Oh. Interestingly enough, it seems like I can actually heal my way out of damage that is, like, currently degenerating. So, like, as my health is going down, I can hit enemies to bring it back up to that orange bar that's slowly depleting. Because I was wondering how that regeneration works, too. Oh, God, that's so fucking handy. Anything in here? Nope. Nothing to do. Okay. And scroll of power. I'm gonna raise my health up because I want to get to a nice clean 200. I know you did, Dari, but I don't know if you noticed, this game kind of requires a lot of focus, so I may have missed that. I apologize. Or at least the details of it. Now I'm poisoned. Now I'm exploding. And now I'm dead. And I lost the blueprint that I got because I didn't make it to the next stage. Fuck. And also I lost 16 cells. Fuck. Oh well. We're back in the beginning. Growth back onto the head. And I'm gonna pick up 25% of like 4,000, 5,000 gold. Which is a lot. And that's gonna be where I call it a night for tonight. So what did you guys think? It's a super fun game, and I gotta admit, you really should. Oh, wait a minute. I totally forgot. I'm so sorry, Dan. Yes, it does look very different in here now. This strange place now houses every weapon that we've unlocked so far. It's gonna be very pretty when we're done. Look at it. Isn't it gorgeous? And what's fun is you can actually interact with a lot of them too. Make them rattle. But you can't break them down to get them for your run. Like, it's not a pick your weapon type thing. But yeah. And this guy is actually an achievement hunter. But unfortunately, I don't think his stats are ready yet. Yeah, it's gonna be in an upcoming patch here soon. But no, I wish you could break them and get the weapons out of them because it would be nice to be able to choose your starting weapons. But yes, that is there. And you can also, you can do better than this, you can do better than this, you can do better than this, you can do better than this. But anyway, so ladies and gentlemen, I feel like this is where we are going to call it a night for the evening. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all have enjoyed this extra long stream today. We got a whole lot further in Dr. Decker, which makes me super duper excited for possibly Monday, when we can come back and play a little bit more, because I mean, fuck, what else am I going to do with my Memorial Day? I feel like that'll be a good time. I'm probably going to go see Guardians of the Galaxy tomorrow, take the rest of my weekend, enjoy it, and then we'll see you right back here on Monday for more chat stuff. Thank you all so much for watching, everybody. And as always, we'll see you next time. Bye.